There's one rule, and there's one pitcher specifically that hates the new rule that I feel like I really love, but social media hated, a lot of fans did not like. And that's the new extra innings rule, where if the game is tied, you go to extra innings, you put a runner on second base to start the new inning with no one out. Already, you give each team a chance to score runs. It was the debut of that. It sounded at least good on paper. Actually see it in real life. To me, I thought it worked great. I thought it really, really, really helped add some intensity to the game. I thought it worked out well. I thought it brought some excitement. I thought really, for the most part, it was a win-win. But like I said, not everyone liked it. Actually, most people did not like the rule. And the one pitcher that went on the record that was very frustrated with the new rule happened to be Indians pitcher Mike Clevenger. I should say he was not happy about it. He tweeted after Saturday's game when the Indians did lose in extra innings 3-2. He tweeted, "This new extra inning rule is the wackiest bleep I've ever seen. Do you have any idea how hard it is to get a runner to second off the back end of a bullpen? Hashtag this isn't travel ball. Hashtag make 'em earn it and tag Major League Baseball." So there you go. There's a pitcher. Obviously, it makes sense. A pitcher does not like the extra inning rule. It favors the offense. It favors scoring. And obviously, with his team in the losing end in the first extra inning game of the year for Cleveland, makes sense he's upset. But reading this tweet, hearing Mike Clevenger talk about how hard it is to get a runner second base off the back end of the bullpen, he answers his own question as to why this rule is so great. He laid it out perfectly. Bullpens, the way they're constructed right now, with every guy coming in fresh, every guy throwing 98, 99, 100 miles an hour, it's becoming harder and harder for players and hitters to get on base and score runs. It's tough. Right now, the pitchers have the advantage. Obviously, we know the home run ball is prevalent and the home runs keep on going up. But it is tough to have any success with these bullpens. You have constantly guys coming in and throwing harder and harder. So what does that happen then? It leads to longer games with not much excitement. To be honest, I've seen this a lot on social media. Oh man, no more 18-inning games, no more 19-inning games, no more 20 innings. I'll take that. I'll take one of those marathon games than ending the game in the 10th inning right away. Who honestly stays up to watch an 18-inning extra inning game? Does anyone? Let's be honest here. You can try to stay up, but most of these games that go extra innings and go, 17, 18, 19 innings, you have work the next day. If it happens on a weeknight, a 7 o'clock local start, game doesn't end until 1 or 2 a.m., are you really staying up to watch all extra innings? You can try, but most people don't make it. I know for a fact, when I think of baseball, I don't root and hope for extra innings. I don't want a 15, a 16, a 17 inning game. You're in the twilight zone by the time you get that late. You have pitching, now you have position players coming in to pitch. You're burning through your bullpen. That's not something I wanted for, I yearned for, and I don't miss it. This new rule adds excitement. It makes it intense right away. Not to mention, if we're talking about viewership, we're talking about making the game more exciting. MLB needs fans. They need excitement. They need to draw fans in. Having games go to extra innings that, boom, right away, put intensity, put intrigue, put pressure on other teams, it helps increase viewership. Think about it. If I'm hanging out at home, big Mets fan, if the game's over, the Mets are off, and I'm kind of flipping the channels, I stumble onto a game that's in the 10th or 11th inning, I'm putting on, because guess what? Right away, I know there's action. Right away, you're starting the runner on second base, and you can either try to score for a big inning, and one way or another, every pitch, every at-bat is intense. Whereas if you get to the 15th inning, the 16th inning, the 17th inning, and you have position players that have been out there the whole time, they're tired, they're fatigued, and you still have bullpen guys coming in and throwing hard. It's a point of no return. You're hoping for a mistake. Those games are just honestly boring to watch. So I love this new format. I love the excitement right away. I love as soon as it goes to extra innings, boom, right away before we even come back from a commercial, here we go, it's intense. So not only does it add more intrigue, and again, like Mike Clevenger said, do you know how hard it is to get a runner on second base on the back end of the bullpen. Mike, it's really hard. You know that. We all know that. Boost scoring. Put more intense situations on teams. It's part of the reason why playoff baseball is so much more popular than the regular season. Every pitch, especially in playoff baseball, every pitch is intense. Every pitch means something, literally. In the third inning, you can have a runner on second base and 2 outs. It's a huge at-bat right there, where in the most part, any other game right now, okay, I mean, sure, you want to prevent the run, but it's not that big of a deal. That's why playoff baseball is so popular, and it's impossible, for the most part, for baseball in the regular season to have that much intensity to match up with that pressure in that moment. And you do that right away with putting a runner on second base to start extra innings. So not only does it make it easier to score and add more intensity, it adds more strategy. I'm a National League fan. I hate the designated hitter. I hate it. To me, it makes a manager's job a lot easier. It takes away part of the strategy from the game. And it doesn't allow those more creative managers, the managers who know how to manage their roster, how to manage the bullpen, how to manage pinch hitting. It takes that part away. So now at least, especially with the designated hitter in both leagues, you add more strategy that before wasn't there. Because guess what? You have multiple different ways to try to get a run in extra innings. Do you play for one run? Do you get conservative and hope that you get this run in from second base? You could, and your bullpen could come in and hold them and keep them scoreless? Or do you say, you know what? We're both in this situation. It's going to be tough. We might as well try to score as many runs as possible. Because guess what? We know the other team's going to get their opportunity when they come up to the plate. And they're going to have a chance to score multiple runs. We saw both strategies this weekend. In the Royals game, the Royals-Indians game I just related to, or just talked about with Mike Clevenger. The Royals' approach in the 10th inning was this. So you obviously have the runner on second base. Sacrifice bunt to get the runner to third base. Sacrifice fly to get the runner in. You had a walk, and then that runner on first base trying to steal second was caught stealing. So you had the Royals win the game with a sac bunt, a sac fly, a walk, and a caught stealing. Technically, no one came up to bat, an official at bat in the 10th inning for the Royals, and they still won. So the Royals played for one run, and it worked. You had the Braves, when they played the Mets on Saturday, they played for the big inning. They started swinging. They brought their boppers up there, and they were hitting. And they scored 3 runs. And guess what? It worked out because guess what? The very next inning, they scored 3 runs. The Mets loaded the bases right away. And they scored a run. So it's not a guarantee that one run wins you the game. Even 3 runs. I'll be honest. As a Mets fan, when the Braves scored 3 runs, I was upset. Okay, it's a bummer. But then okay, right away you got a runner at second base, the leadoff double. You get a walk, a base hit, all of a sudden the tying run comes to the game. So it encourages teams to be aggressive in extra innings. I know people say it's boring to watch sacrifice bunts and sacrifice flies win the game, but you have to be aggressive more than not. Both strategies can work, but it depends on which manager, what they prefer. So it adds more strategy, adds more intrigue, and it gives more responsibilities to the manager, which, as we know, and as I said, that's becoming less and less. The general manager now in the analytics department has a lot of say in how the lineup is made. The designated hitter basically takes away a lot of the pinch hitting, pulling on a starter, doing double switches. It takes a lot of that strategy out of the game. But adding a runner at second base, figuring out, okay, do we play for the one run and think our guy can hold it? Or do we play for a big inning? Do we play to get a few runs across the board here? I think it's great for strategy. I think it's great for excitement. I think it's great to add pressure situations right away, and it's great for viewership. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. And this was coming from a fan whose team played in one extra inning game and lost. I'm not loving the format because the Mets benefited one game. I'm loving the format because right away you add intensity, you add intrigue, and you add scoring. Let alone provide managers with more strategy and make them think about more things. Can't just go to the binder and say, oh, what do we do here? Some moves, and you try to be aggressive, will backfire. All the times you try to play conservative, get the one run across, and the other team ends up scoring 2. So I really enjoyed the format. I thought it really worked, but I really seem to be in the minority. I saw a lot on social media of fans being upset, of players being upset, and not liking the new format. I understand baseball is a sport that really hates change. It's an older fan base The NFL and the NBA, really social media present. They have a younger fan base, so they are more apt to change. They are more okay with rules changing, with formats changing. But for baseball, you have a lot of traditionalists. Don't want to see the game change. Like it the way it is. And I feel like I, for the most part, fall into that category. I'm an old soul when it comes to baseball. I really don't like change. I don't like much of the pace of play rules. I think that's misguided in terms of trying to get more fans to buy in, to watch the game. But anything that includes more strategy, anything that really adds extra pressure and intrigue right away, I'm a fan of. So this is a wild card, a radical idea, but I really, really like it. I hope it stays past 2020. I really do. Traditionalists for most aspects of the game, but not this. I do love change. I think this is great, exactly what Major League Baseball needs. And I hope to see it here for a very long time. So I'm curious. We had a few games go extra innings. Mind you, every single game, by the way, ended in the 10th inning. Not one game that went to extra innings this past weekend, on opening weekend, went past 1 inning. Either the team scored and held, or they scored and couldn't hold, and the other team obviously scored more. It adds intensity, it adds excitement right away. And it ends games earlier. I don't miss 18-inning games, I'll be honest. I really don't.